Why is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
There is something else you texted me that I don't even want to
You can't
open
even
up on my
say
phone.
it.
No,
What
well, I can say it. I just don't want it
What I love is
opened
that
up on
you're
my
not
phone.
afraid of the word clitoris. It's snake.
Yes, it's horrifying.
Mhm.
No, because now when I open a new,
And we can thank Rachel for
well,
sending
thank
that
you,
to
Rachel,
us.
for leaving me hiding under the desk. But now it's like, since I opened it the one time,
Mhm.
that picture comes up on the, like, when I open a tab, it's like, oh, do you want to go back to some of your recently viewed? I was like,
That's
no, I do
hilarious.
not.
Like, because we have sent many a picture and link since then. Like, why
We
doesn't the
have,
ostrich
yes.
open up? Like,
I don't know. I would give for an ostrich to open up, or that
I
picture
mean,
of Russell Mail in Korea. I would love that to
oh,
open up.
yes, I would love that to open up every day. What's funny is when I open up the article, the picture disappears.
Oh, you are so lucky.
And I'm not even afraid of snakes.
I know. It's like my phone just wants to torment me.
It does. I feel like perhaps
My phone hates me.
my phone is your phone is me. Just there to torture you.
Yes.
This is Why, with your hosts, Heidi Hedquist and Luke Poling.
But what's interesting is, why didn't they study this sooner?
You know, I think they're busy with some other stuff.
But don't you think that, like, snakes are kind of fat, like, as gross and scary as they are? I
just feel like, and this is me, my personal opinion, and
Mhm.
you can disagree all you want, and I understand you have your belief system, I have mine. I just think trying to find a cure for AIDS and cancer is more important than sexually pleasing snakes.
Okay, I don't disagree with that.
Really? It sounds like you
However,
are.
no, I was
Really?
only focusing on because these particular researchers
Yes.
are, focused on animals, not
Correct.
on
Right.
diseases. So
Right.
also, I might add, this was done at the University of Adelaide, my parents' other hometown.
Sure.
Also,
Yeah, aren't they the
a
ones with
place
the,
for snakes.
right? Aren't they the place that also has the chlamydia award for koalas?
They might. That'd be
I
awesome.
believe they do. But anyway, so this article
University of
says,
Adelaide's awesome. I almost went to school there. My parents
oh,
had convinced me to move, but they
okay.
didn't.
Yeah. Well, I think what you're about
Then
to read
I
is
could
why
have.
I would never gone to this place.
Oh, you'd go there. We got to go there. We got to go to the festival. But
Yes.
yes. So I don't know. I just feel like people who are into the animal husbandry,
Yes. Thank you.
I feel that snakes, especially in Australia, may have been a bigger priority. They wouldn't
Okay.
have, especially since I just learned the word. Wait, I just lost it. Hemipenes.
I'm sorry.
This is the fact that male snakes and lizards are known to have that word that I mispronounced,
Okay.
which is a pair of penises which are everted outside the body during reproduction.
Okay.
In many species, hemipenes are covered in spines or hooks.
Interesting.
This is fascinating. So
Yeah.
wouldn't you have thought, if this was common knowledge,
Right.
you'd want to check out what the ladies have?
If a gentleman is rocking two or more.
Right?
Yeah, this is a very good point.
Because you'd want to know, do the ladies like these spines and hooks?
Right.
Are they not into it? What's the deal?
But as always, I feel like in most things related to the subject, women come second, I guess.
Well, yeah, that's what's the thing. Like, the lack of caring about women enjoying themselves goes right down to the snakes.
Yep, very true.
And there's a quote here from the lead author that says, quote, "A massive taboo around female genitalia was a potential factor in why snake clitorises had not been described earlier. I think it's a combination of not knowing what to look for and not wanting to," she said.
Okay.
Trying to find it is not always the easiest thing. Some are extremely tiny. Direct quote, lead author.
Doctor.
Right.
So I'm just interested about the fact that she used the phrase or the word clitori. Or sorry.
I know.
Clitorises. Yeah. I thought clitori would be the correct pluralization
Maybe
of this.
it is. I don't know.
So
But
we
she's
haven't gotten
focused
to the
on-
bottom of what the new research has discovered.
Well, why don't you share that with us?
No, I think you should share this because you
Well,
you
didn't we
created
say
my nightmares. I don't think we did,
that they discovered that female snakes have clitorises?
but they have multiple, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. Which has a name too. Wait,
Clitori. Yeah, we've been over
no,
this.
but another one, like
Okay.
the Herma name, I was fortunate that the death adder had a reasonably prominent hemiclitoris. Oh, maybe it's not a different
Yeah.
one.
No, I'm out. I'm out on that one.
I know,
Adder's bad enough. Then you throw death in there.
I know. So true.
Like, isn't that like just a double? Two positives make a negative, or vice versa?
Right?
Like, I feel like adder is bad enough to be like, yeah, don't go near that.
True. Adders are terrible.
Like, if I was at a party, I wouldn't fight an adder.
Okay. Okay, this is kind of funny.
You would fight a rattlesnake
I totally would.
with zero questions asked.
Zero questions.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially if I was in a really sassy dress in the 20s at a party.
Yeah.
Out of my mind on booze and cocaine.
Yeah. Well.
In the last 20s, not this.
Right.
20s.
Yes. Right.
Okay, there are so many jokes in the snakes that they chose to. It's like too easy.
Read them off. I'll just take my feet up off the ground.
The
Go.
researchers went on to dissect 10 snakes of 9 species, including the carpet python, the puff adder, and the Mexican moccasin.
We got to get Pornhub roped in on this
Right?
call and figure out if they must be aware of this.
Right? Vipers have big ones. But then they're really thin, stretched out, and small in some other snakes.
No, it wasn't the death adder that was barely there.
I think it was the adder.
Maybe that's why they're so mad.
Right?
So you've been busy the past year.
Holy moly. I have been busy, Luke. And I think that the things that you see on the surface, like you see on the outside, there for every offer I put out or different thing or iteration I tried, there were like probably a half dozen that, we just tried to like play out internally with my team, but then it never actually got to my Instagram stories or something. Yeah, I have made 15 different offers this year. I've tried to sell 15 different things, trying to figure out a couple of things. What does my audience really need? And what is really joyful for me to deliver?
That's the thing that we're doing wrong. Joyful. See,
joyful.
I've been emailing furry conventions all morning. So this explains a lot about why we're doing what we're doing and you're doing what you're doing.
Right. Okay. Because this is what I tell people when I'm coaching writers or business owners on social media. I say, the questions you ask yourself, if you're wondering if something that you want to do is on brand, do you give a shit about it? And does it help people?
Then this show wouldn't exist if we did that.
But it helps people. Okay, it does. It gives people like just this window into, looking at things from a different perspective or hearing a new story,
True.
right?
But this is not about us patting ourselves on the back. That's why there's 2 of us, so we can pat each other's. But
Okay.
so I want to eventually work our way up to the keeping it hot box because I have questions.
Yeah.
But so what else? I know there's TV things in the works.
2 TV shows in the works, 2 or 3. Keeping it hot retreats. We're going on our first retreat in 2 weeks to Banff, Alberta.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's
15
your home province?
You know what? It's funny because I was raised in Manitoba, but I was born in Calgary, Alberta, but nobody knows this. But it's funny when I say this is where we're going, they're like, oh yeah, because you're from Alberta. And I'm like, so funny, but I've never told you that, but yes.
Yeah.
It's true.
So what is the getaway? Because this is the first one, so there's going to be more.
Yes, we are actually renting out a whole hotel in Tulum, Mexico for spring beach retreat.
How could that go wrong?
We're excited.
No, it's Tulum is an amazing town. Yeah.
Right? Okay, so in Banff,
Yes.
We are going to have a mix of connective, relaxing vacation activities that maybe you wouldn't pick, but maybe you'd be curious about. Okay. So morning meditation, sound bath, mindfulness practices in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then couples are going to have special things that they are doing together that they have chosen. Every couple gets a photo shoot. So they can decide, okay, do we want a couple's photo shoot out in the mountains? Do we want a boudoir sexy photo shoot in our hotel room? And is it just the wife who's going to be in the shoot, or are we both going to be in the shoot? Every couple gets to decide what is the thing that's exciting and like a little bit beyond our comfort zone, but hey, we're going to go do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to have couples massages, super sexy. We're going to have incredible dinners together. They're going to be outdoor activities that they can do as they like, but it's all included. There's going to be dog sledding. There's going to be a gondola ride through the Rocky Mountains, hot springs, beautiful hot springs in Banff. And then each night we have an incredible dinner together. And then we have these after dark sessions. So couples retire to their rooms, Zoom webinar, custom guided pleasure practice just for us live with a practitioner, either a tantric practitioner or a sexual expert / guide to take you through. Basically, the script is going to be hottest vacation sex ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what's the ideal couple this is for? Sting and Trudy, it sounds like they've probably got this stuff. This is Tuesday, but for everyone else.
So this is for couples who haven't had a spicy getaway, maybe since before they had kids, maybe since their honeymoon, maybe they didn't even take a honeymoon. And they were like, someday we're going to go away and like do something nice just for the two of us. Like something like we really need a break. We need something that is custom made for like connection. That is going to be the common thread. How good can we feel? We're staying at the Fairmont, which is the fanciest hotel in all of Canada.
Yeah.
The food is going to be exceptional. All of the things are going to be top notch, right? That's what I want, because from my audience, I hear so often from men saying, my partner can never relax. She can never relax. She's always busy, like checking something else off the list or thinking something else has to be done for the kids. And I love our kids too. And I think, they need some support, but I also think that it might be good for my wife and good for the kids and good for all of us if she was able to turn it off and relax. And rather than differences in sex drives, I think like there are, of course, physiological things that happen to all of us, like, right, with pregnancy, childbirth, breastfeeding, with menopause, with anxiety, with different health concerns for men that may make sex trickier for a period of time, or you may have to like, alter some of the ways you do things. So like, it just works better this way right now,
Yeah.
But for the most part, it is our conditioning, it is our daily routines, it's our habits, it's our practices, it's our patterning that instead of a sex drive differential, I think what we have is a fun drive difference, or a pleasure drive, or I find it easy to just forget all the work and relax drive, So I want this to be a bit fantasy, like, oh my God, we get to go here. And we already paid for all of this. The food is free. Of course, we're going to go on the dog sled, right? Why not take a couple hours on the dog sled this afternoon, and hair and makeup for the photo shoots and all of these things, just like, life gets to feel this good.
And you said men are signing up for this, or the reason they are. What is that differential? Because I normally one would think it is the woman saying, we're doing this, get in the car. But
it's the other way around.
Really?
It's the other way around. So I don't know if I told you this stat last time we talked, but it's changed. It used to be about 80% of my DMs are from men. Now it's 90. 90% of my messages are from men who see my content and they go, wait a minute, Ashleigh's over 40. She's got 3 kids. I think this is like subconscious, right? They're not like checking off, but they're like,
right.
She runs a business, her husband runs her own business. There are all of these things, right? Like busy in their lives, but she's finding time every day to go, hey, this is how we had more fun today. This is how we're taking it to the next level for communication. This is how we're connecting. This is how, even when I'm stressed with my kids, I'm trying to look at it from a different perspective because I want this to feel easier. I want us to cooperate with more ease, with more joy. I do really believe, I'm taking a stand for life gets to feel better and more fun than maybe what we've told ourselves or we've come to believe from the people around us. And the fact that I lead with sex, men go, okay, I'll listen to what she's saying. She thinks that there should be more good blowjobs in the world. That's interesting. I think I'm not disagreeing with this woman.
Right.
She seems to be, speaking some truth. But then what I'm talking about is, you have to have an equitable partnership. Maybe your partner is overdoing because they don't trust that you're going to be able to catch the ball if it drops or notice even, right? So then it's oh, okay, babe. So for you to really, unplug and relax and feel enough spaciousness to want to have sex more often. Oh, you really do need me to take care of this thing for the kids. Got it. I got it. Yep. Don't worry about it. And then because the motivation was maybe if I shift some things, we could have more ease in this area of our life. Maybe we could remember how good it feels to be teammates in the bedroom. The men are I know why I'm holding this responsibility. It's to create this space that, my wife could feel more comfortable or shift into a greater willingness or excitement to have this time with me. And so these dynamics are changing. Hi, Heidi. These dynamics are changing in relationships. And things that have been stuck in the same pattern for a long time are now looking different than they did before. And a lot of couples are really surprised because it's you can't teach an old dog new tricks. They think, all right, I've been with this person for 15 or 20 or 30 years. Why would now be any different from the other times I've asked them, could you please help out with this?
Because they're not on a dog sled.
They're not on a dog sled.
I know it. So is that when most of the communication should happen?
On the dog sled or in the
I really wish you would take out the trash.
Here is when the communication is happening that's really transforming how people are hearing each other. It's happening in the afterglow.
Okay.
A couple says, hey, let's do this after dark workshop that Ashleigh offered. We've been following Ashleigh on social media for a long time. Maybe they read Swing, maybe they didn't, but they see, okay, she has this retreat. She has this subscription box. She has this after dark workshop. It's $25. It's anonymous on Zoom webinar. Okay, let's try it. They go, they log in. It's 90 minutes with this beautiful tantric practitioner from Bali. Her name is Eliza, right? And she's so funny. And she's like, oh, I love slapping the cock on my face. And I'm like, wait a minute, right? I go, okay, pause for a second. I'm probably not the only one who's like, oh my God, can I do that? And I said, okay, but listen, I think I'm going to try it because I think I've done it on my tongue before. And he thought that was a turn on. So, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Next time, it might take me a week to work up the nerve for this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. Everybody, can we make a pledge that we're just going to try maybe?
That's where they make those to-do lists that you hang on the fridge.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's offering this ooh, if you are totally unleashed sexually, this is what you do. You rub ejaculate on your body. And I was like, feels a little sticky to me, but
we're not in Bali. This is
right?
the thing.
We're not in Bali.
Right.
So, but then, so people have this sex goddess woman, and then they have me who they know I'm fine talking about sex, but I'm like, okay, let's just connect the dots and say some of this may be embarrassing, but the feedback that I've received from that after dark workshop that we had the first one on November 14th, has been bananas. How people felt so connected. I did the pleasure for him workshop first for a reason. Most of my audience are men who say, I would love for my wife to receive with more ease. I would love to pleasure her, but she's always like, oh, I don't need that. Let's just finish. Or kind of pushing past that instead of really relaxing into it. So I knew a lot of women wouldn't be comfortable doing the for her pleasure, like oral and manual techniques for her, without first trying this with their husband, because it's like, this is a new thing. I don't know if this is going to be weird. I don't know if I'm actually going to be anonymous on Zoom. There's just too many barriers to feeling comfortable. So we did the for him one first. The feedback that I'm getting is incredible. Like from women, like my husband felt like a king because it was 90 minutes of like.
The crown didn't hurt either.
What's that?
The crown didn't hurt.
The crown.
I may not be from Bali, but I got some ideas.
You got some ideas.
Yeah.
So it's people are saying, hey, what if I try this little thing? What if we together do this thing that we've never done before? That's like a little bit weird, but exciting. And it's only $25. And we know how to do Zoom. And then they go and they have that experience together that maybe there's some laughing, maybe there's some like incredible pleasure, maybe there's a bit of awkwardness that they work through. Doesn't matter what happens. They went into that bedroom with the goal of working as a team and they succeeded. So then when they come out and they're like, oh, we are so good together, man, yeah, we did that. Then often right after, then one person will be like, oh, remember that thing that I told you was no big deal the other day? Hey, here's actually like what I was feeling about it. And the other person, the good will, the good nature, the receptivity to the communication is higher, right? Because you're just like, I trust this person, they trust me. Wow, when we work together, it is awesome, right? So then there's just this shift, there's this new willingness around other issues in the relationship that seem to be stalemates before, right? Like the same things you come up against all the time. And he always has the same response. You always have the same response. And it's like, here we are getting nowhere again. But this is something that keeps coming up for us because when it keeps coming up, you know that there's a better solution than what you found.
Right.
But you just haven't sat in it long enough, or you haven't come to it with enough curiosity and cooperation to see the other options that were right there the whole time.
I feel like this is one of those things too, where the Zoom option is like it's the perfect scenario for it. Because it takes away so much fear and embarrassment and a lot of couples would think to themselves, oh, it'd be really cool to have like a guided sex ritual, but like, do we need to go to Bali? Where do you do that? How do you vet these people? Are we actually just hiring a sex worker? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Right.
Is this legal? What are we doing? And then these people who have come to know, like, trust me over these couple of years, right? And they're like, if Ashleigh says it, if Ashleigh says this is going to be fun for $25, I could say, yeah, maybe
No, why not?
Plus there's like no commute. So there's no time where you have to drive home and lose everything that was like built up and all excited about.
It's in the moment. Like I've told people, come with like your robes on. You know, both of you shower, put your robes on, pour something to drink, like a beverage, right? Whether you want to stay hydrated or you want to have a glass of wine, whatever.
What do you recommend?
Well, I just need water.
Okay. So not like squirt or something like that.
No,
or
definitely squirt.
Tab.
Fresca.
You know? Oh my God. Fresca. Great.
Have a Fresca, light a candle.
This is like the sexiest thing ever.
Oh my God, right? And then listen, laugh, learn, and then like go through what she's guiding you to do. And she leaves lots of space in there too. Like all of this is an invitation. So if you guys are really, you find one technique that like really, really, really works, and I'm guiding you to try something, just ignore me, mute it, whatever. It's like, it's about you guys. And everybody gets the recording. The number of registrations I got right after the class finished and the recording was ready right away. You know, Zoom is pretty fast nowadays, right? Zoom, right? They're really living up to their name now. Recordings used to take longer, I think. So within like 30 minutes after the webinar, the recording was available. So I went on, and I also had people DM me already saying, oh my God, that was amazing. That was incredible. So I just shared the DMs, you know, profile photo cut off, and then replays already available. hundreds of signups that night. Hundreds of signups that night for people who were like, okay, well, now I'm getting FOMO because the replay, I don't even have to wait for the webinar. The replay is already up. Everybody wants life to feel better than it feels. And we are all looking for different ways to make that happen. Either filling ourselves up with things that don't really hit the spot, like add to cart, or another glass of
Fresca,
rosé,
sure,
Fresca. Honestly, though, a lot of people junk food, whatever, right? They're just like, oh, so we fill ourselves up or numb ourselves out with like scrolling or binging a show, or like, I can't believe how long I've been sitting here. I just wanted to we do so many things on autopilot, right? So to intentionally go, we're going to try this thing for fun and for connection. We know we're going to have some fun here, whether we're just laughing hysterically at what this woman is trying to tell us to do. Like Heidi, she suggested that you take the penis and slap it against your cheek a little bit, right? And I bet some couples were like, never in our lifetime. Maybe he was even like, don't ever do that. I mean,
come on,
maybe.
nobody said that.
Nobody said that, did they?
Nope.
Nobody said
like,
that.
"Let's
Why
go."
am I trying to? I'm like, anything is possible, except every man was like,
this and
yes,
this.
please.
1000%. 1000%.
So you
Just
have
fun and silly. It's fun and silly.
Yeah.
And when do we
Exactly.
get to do that as an adult? Fun, silly stuff that actually, it's not numbing yourself out. It's not filling yourself up with something unhealthy. I think every tradition in the world basically agrees that married sex is not a bad thing.
Right.
Pretty much.
Pretty
Right?
much.
I think.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That
Everybody
married sex.
Says it's okay.
Okay, here's the thing. Married sex is something people should do. And even there's this narrative around, and if you don't, good luck with your marriage working it. You have to have a baseline of intimacy, or else he's going to cheat, or she's whatever, right? But there are very few resources for like adult sex ed to say, okay, but if you want it to be a little better, or you want new techniques, or you want to learn something new. I mean, what do we have besides people like surfing porn, right?
Right.
Now the Taxi Cab Confessions is off the air. Yeah.
That's true.
Not a lot.
I mean, there's the whole Bridgerton scene, I guess.
Yeah, but that's a one and done.
Yeah.
We just
Pretty
need
much.
a little more than the one and done, and we need it to be a
Agreed.
little more novel, and we need it to like be more nuanced. And I think we need it to be like a little buffet.
Yeah.
A buffet of like, here are the things that you may be curious about. Here are the things you may want to try. So I have upcoming, I'm adding to the slate of After Dark workshops for people now. One of the next ones is going to be, so there was oral and manual pleasure for him.
Right.
Then it's going to be oral and manual for her. And I swear, like 100 messages from people saying, please explain to me again what the for him means. Doesn't it mean that's when you're going down on her? And I was like, this is so fascinating that so many people equate activities in the bedroom to who's doing the work.
Yeah. Right.
So fast. I was like, how is this confusing? It's for him. And then for him to learn what to do. I'm like, no. So it was so interesting the way people have sort of like
The
this
perspective.
Yeah, this perspective, like this tit for tat, or that sex is something that you take from someone rather than giving it to them.
Interesting.
So that was really interesting how I joyfully answered that 100 times and took a screenshot every time and shared it to my stories. And one of my friends was like, why do they keep asking you that? I was like, it's fine. I get to just share about it on my stories again. It's fine. And then I get a bunch more registrations because I think some people are still confused. Sex is so confusing to people.
Right.
And it's actually one of the simplest things about life. Our bodies can feel pleasure. And with another person in the mix, there are just like increased connection points. There's like increased options for how that pleasure could be found. That's it. But a lot of people don't know their own bodies really well. That's why one of my next After Dark workshops is going to be solo pleasure for her.
Yeah,
Women
or
only.
you.
Yeah, right? Or, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
gonna have
be
to, how
very
many times am
specific.
I gonna have to answer that?
Right,
Yeah.
a lot.
Okay,
It's
I
gonna
need
be
to
a
probably
lot.
go into the sales copy. And then the next one after that, a week later, is tandem self-pleasure. Because that is a message I get all the time, that individuals would love if their partner would engage in tandem self-pleasure with them. They would love that. But all of the levels of resistance around, will I be able to pleasure myself in front of someone else? Will I feel shy? Will they be wondering why I'm doing what I'm doing? Will I be distracted by what they're doing and wonder, whoa, do I do it that well? I don't even know. Plus probably 17
lot.
other things
Yeah.
that come to people's
Right.
Will there be a tandem bike involved?
will there be,
Good one.
you know, double seater
Yeah.
bike?
Yeah.
I know.
Who goes first?
Right. Do we draw straws?
Is there a basket on the bike?
Does
Are
this
we
have
making
to
your
be
work
in
harder for you?
Does this have to be in unison? Do we have to come at the same time?
Right?
Yeah.
5, 6,
It's like rowing a
7,
boat,
8.
right? Yeah.
Jack on.
Playing like the chorus line soundtrack in the background.
Oh, which is it? Step touch. I love that song. Heidi,
Right.
I choreographed an incredible skating program to that music one year, and we started with that. It was,
Amazing.
yeah,
That's
Interesting.
outstanding.
it was really great.
Yeah.
So
Our
yes, I
prom
think
theme was Dance 10 Looks 3, but go on. Sorry.
I think I should dance 10 looks 3. I know, so good, right? That
So good.
show, and listen, the reason why we're laughing about chorus line right now is because we have a shared vocabulary around it, right?
Right.
And I think that around intimacy, especially for married adults, we don't have very much of a shared vocabulary because we don't talk about it a lot.
Just so weird.
It's weird,
Right?
isn't it?
It's super weird.
It's super weird. Like, you probably knew more about your friends' sex lives when you were 17,
Of course.
right?
Yep.
And there's this thing that happens in the sanctity of marriage that then people are solo and lonely, trying to figure out, why the hell does my marriage not feel as good as I thought it would?
Yeah.
So I'm there to say, because it doesn't feel great automatically for anyone. It's like the greatest setup, right? It's like such a setup. Happily ever after, I do, boom. Then you're like forgotten, right? And then, you know, people in the family are excited about the next couple who's like gonna tie the knot. And it's like, oh, we're over here and like we need support. And I think the only support that's been out there consistently has been like church group support. And a lot of that support probably doesn't
Not
give
sexy.
people, probably doesn't give people the skills that they need to build an equitable partnership, and probably doesn't give people the skills that they need to really talk about sex. Because to really talk about sex, you have to drop all preconceived notions about what your partner thinks about sex. And you have to be ready just to listen, because what you've heard about sex and what you really think about sex, those may be two different things. And then what your husband or your partner, whoever brings to it, maybe another point on this like matrix of, views we could have about it, right? So if you don't even both know what you like about it, or what you're thinking you're getting or giving in it, or like what the energetic exchange is, then it's really kind of messed up. Like, I get messages from men who say, I get the kids ready for school, I drive them to all their sports, I do the dishes every day, and my wife still isn't jumping my bones. Like, what's happening? And I say, well, hey, love that you're trying to figure out how to shift this dynamic, and like, you know, love that you care enough to take care of your family, and you care enough to still say, like, what am I missing here? We need to realize, I was going to say remember, but no, we need to say for the first time that there's no magic formula outside the bedroom that then will make your partner want to get it on in the bedroom. Unless you have said to your partner, what are the things that make you feel comfortable in your body? What are the things that make you feel like, okay, yeah, there are no fires to put out right now. things feel pretty calm. Woohoo. I'm like an orgasm right now. I think that would be, what am I in the mood for? Yeah, coming.
Right.
Right. What are the circumstances around which that you need around you in order to feel turned on? Don't just assume if I wash the dishes, I'm such a nice guy, that means I should get a blowjob. Well, maybe yes, maybe no, but you're going to have to actually talk to the live woman in your house about that. And a lot of people don't talk. And this is what I'm finding. The people who keep score in their minds the most keep the score secret until they're really winning by a long shot. And then they will start pouting because they're so mad that they're winning the imaginary competition that they invented in their brain, that I swear to you, your partner may not even be aware of. Okay. And then we have people who, when their partner does something that's like a little bit of a slight, they go, and this is what I do, I'll go, ouch. Wait, what was that? What was that? And my husband will say, oh, you're always bringing up when you feel upset. And it's like, well, yeah. And then you never are like, actually, you seem a little off. Is there something wrong? Never. Because I don't harbor. I don't count those things like, oh yeah, I'm definitely the better human in this partnership again this week.
Right.
No,
I gave to charity.
Right. I gave to charity. I washed the dishes. I let him sleep in so I could, and I drove the kids to school. Okay. None of those are points on like the sex leaderboard. They're not. Until you say to your partner, hey, what would those things actually be? I know for me what they are. For me, they're being seen and witnessed. So if I say, oh my God, I have this new idea for these after dark workshops, I'm going to do this and this. What I would love for my partner, what I would love for my husband is go, oh my God, you have another idea. And that's so exciting. I hear your idea. That's it. And then I'll go off and I'll like probably have it live in like 25 minutes. Okay.
Right.
But if I tell him about an exciting idea and then he's like, I'm washing these dishes because I hope I'm going to get laid tonight, and doesn't, then I'm like, okay, he's ignoring me, whatever. I'm going to go send a Voxer to a friend because I'm excited, right? It's like, what are the things that actually turn your partner on? What are the things that actually make them feel safe? What are the things that actually make them feel like you are their teammate and that you can trust each other and achieve new things together? Because that's the greatest thing about having a partner, and looking at you too, right? Partner. When you have a partner in a project, you signed up with them, you linked elbows with them because you said, hey, I want to do this cool thing and you want to do this cool thing. And I think it would be even more fun or better or easier or more joyful or fill in the blank together. But it was a benefit, right? It was a positive thing. So when we have two adult humans kind of bumping up against each other in their household, and it's like the joke, like, oh yeah, your partner will always like open the drawer that like you're at, or this or that, or right, like they're in your way. Well, yeah, because you haven't clearly communicated like what your dance steps are. You just have to talk about it. And I used to coach synchronized skating, right? 12, 20, 40 athletes on the ice at a time. You couldn't just say, oh, they should know which way I'm going to go. No, there are blades to work with here. Okay. So you say, oh, I'm lifting up my leg for a spiral. I'm going to put it in front of your body. Is that okay? Okay. Yeah. Try it. Okay, wait, put it behind. Okay. So yeah, that was more comfortable for me. Yeah. More comfortable for both of us. Good. So you don't get a blade in the face. But
those are perfect tips for both skating and I see. I see where you're going.
You know what she called it too? She called it the lingam, which is a Sanskrit word for wand of light. She's like,
see, that just infinitely makes it more cool because it no longer seems dorky. Now it just seems like.
And I said, hear that, fellas? It's like a lightsaber.
Oh, that took it to a whole other level.
The force is strong. And then she said, yes, it is. That is why we worship the cock. And I said, oh, okay, that's what we're doing here.
There we go.
Let's giddy up, people.
Yep.
It was just so fun because I would never say the words worship the cock. but now it's hilarious. It's like wash the royal penis. Wash the royal penis from
Coming to America.
Coming to America. Yes. I was going to say Good Morning America, but that's not it.
Different thing.
Different
That's
show.
not it. Coming to America, Eddie Murphy
I'd still
in the
watch
bathtub.
it, but yeah, okay,
right?
yeah.
And this is something that Manny has said to me before. If we've been in the shower together or the bathtub together, he will say, wash the royal penis. And
But of course.
And I laugh and get out of the bathtub.
Right.
But just that feeling of, ooh, I know what I want and I can ask for it, feels good for all of us, right? Feels good for all of us, whether we're at a restaurant that's fancy and you're like, hey, I would like this, and this is actually how I want the steak done, and blah, blah, blah. Like, because you've been there and you know that the chef, ooh, yeah, like my husband always orders home fries, well done.
Oh, I do
at
that
diners.
too.
Yeah, you got to.
I do that too.
Okay. But
And my steak.
Okay.
What?
Well, we need to talk about that.
Oh, we got to really talk about
Okay,
that.
no.
Yeah.
Okay, let's actually, new topic. Let's talk
Yeah.
about how to, if you're going to eat animals, let's talk about how we're going to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
We pretend they never lived.
yeah. Okay. But there's this thing about knowing exactly what you want and asking for it with specificity, knowing it's going to come. Like, no apologies. Wash the royal penis. I mean, he was not apologetic. Eddie Murphy was not apologetic in that moment, right? The character was so funny. And like, did the women come up from under the bathwater? Like, they were under the bathwater?
Yes,
They were there.
So it's just that, like,
treating your partner like the maitre d' and informing them your wishes
listen.
and well done versus medium rare.
I think that a lot of people, especially men, but I think that women can be in this category too. Men would love for their partner to say, honey, do this, and then I'll tell you when I want you to switch to that. And they'll be like, all right, I got it. I got my assignment. And they'll be like, am I doing it right? And they'll be like, that is perfect. They'd be like, I'm the king of the world.
But let's lose the welder's mask.
Let's lose the
Now, it's interesting because these kind of the three things you're offering now, there is the after dark workshops, there is this what truly sounds amazing, these getaways, and then you have this subscription box, which is all about sort of starting a conversation and then putting all the tools, in some cases quite literally, into the folks' hand and going,
here you go.
You know, the student has become the teacher.
Exactly. Okay. So my audience has been asking me for a long time, hey, could you recommend a brand for this or that or this? And I'm like, actually, I don't recommend anything unless I've tried it, but I could start, expanding my toy repertoire, my toy blah, blah, to let you know if I actually like these things. And it's not that you need that many things in the bedroom. Like, you can have a very exciting, minimalistic sex protocol.
That was Frank Lloyd Wright's thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want that more than like a Frank Gehry sex life.
It depends who you are.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying there's a lot of cantilevering going on there.
True, but some people like cantilever.
Flying buttresses. I'm sorry,
I mean,
Ashleigh, this is your
everyone
show.
the flying buttress.
Okay,
Do not knock the flying buttress.
Okay, so for most people in my audience, if they were doing the cantilever shit already, they're probably not following me.
They probably have a varsity
Yeah, that's
letter
true.
in that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good
they're
point.
probably not even there. And this is the funny thing that I keep bumping up against in my own resistance is, oh my God, am I going to make content that's sexy enough for these people? Because like, I'm not an OnlyFans content creator. There are a lot of people who are trying to look sexy on Instagram, and I like wearing makeup and whatever, but I'm not I wouldn't put myself in that category, right? I talk about sex, but it's not like, I have cleavage out and whatever. So I'm like, okay, are people going to tire because I'm not ramping up? Like, the advanced nature. I don't have a more advanced nature of my relationship advice. It's really about communication and cooperation, because I understand how teamwork works and how both people need to have these certain things answered in order to go, yeah, I'm all in for this adventure, and let's see together where it's going to take us, right? Because that's where we both have to be like, I think this is going to work. I think this is going to work too. Okay, but if it doesn't, we're not going to be pointing fingers. We both think, yes, let's try, right? That's it. That is it for business, sports, any sort of teamwork that where you really want to get a high result, like you want to get great performance, make a lot of money, have multiple orgasms, whatever. You have to go in with this like just beginner's mind for like, let's see where it leads us. Okay. All of these things are actually basic communication and cooperation things. Whenever I worry that, okay, I don't know how to teach people to have anal, people say to me again, hey, we've only ever done missionary. I'm wondering, like, do you have any suggestions for other positions? And I'm like, okay, this is where we're at. Or I've followed you for 2 years and I still haven't told my partner that I follow you. Do you have any suggestions for how I could tell them? I'm like, this is where the majority of people are. This is where the majority of people are. And so they're not even coming to my retreats, right? They're not even, maybe they signed up for that After Dark workshop, the first one. Or maybe they're saying, listen, I'm going to get the Keeping It Hot subscription box for Christmas for my partner. All right. In every box, there's going to be a toy for her and a toy for him. There's going to be a book for expansion inside the bedroom. In this first box, it's Radical Intimacy by Zoe Kors. And then there's going to be a book for growth mindset and healthier patterns and dynamics outside the bedroom. So the first one's going to be the Book of Boundaries by Melissa Urban. And she's the one who started Whole30. So she really started like with this framework for people figuring out, wait, what foods really feel good to eat and don't, like what feels good, what doesn't, like to me, right? And then now through teaching people about that, I don't know, has it been a decade, maybe more? She's like, really what her specialty is boundaries, is really you deciding what feels good, what doesn't, and then communicating that line to people you love, people you work with, family, whatever. And then there's going to be an incredible luxurious sex blanket. The sex blanket I've been recommending for a long time is subpar. My audience has told me, like, it's a little scratchy. It's not waterproof. And the squirters have told me that they need something waterproof. And I'm like, all right, my squirting friends, I shall find you anyone. So it's called the Splash Blanket. It's actually from Australia. It's incredible. It's waterproof and it feels really soft on both sides.
And if you throw it, it comes back to you.
If you exactly.
Even better.
Yeah. So, and in this too, there is a community aspect. Every time if you subscribe to the box, if you purchase a box, because it's just, they're sent out quarterly. All right. So you don't actually like sign up to get everyone. Every time you can buy it. There's a Facebook community group where I pop in for live coaching calls. I have guest experts come in for like Ask Me Anything, like Q&As. And then you have this community of other people who are also like, hey, I am going to put my money where my mouth is and say, yes, every 3 months, I would like a delivery to our door to remind us we are a team. We work together. These are the things that we have delivered for fun and for intimacy and to spice things up, new things to try. Yeah. And remember, we're a fun couple like that. We do a quarterly Keeping It Hot subscription box, you know?
For more information on Ashleigh and her After Dark workshops, as well as signing up for the Keeping It Hot subscription box, you can check out her website, ashleighrenard.com.
You can check us out on all the various socials. Be sure to visit our website and don't forget to leave us a review.
Today's show is produced by myself and Heidi Hedquist. Our reluctant producers are John Sauvé and Sandy Stone. Our willing producers are Rachel Allen and Randy Jeanette. Our intern is Zach Jackson. This one's for Philippe. Thanks for joining us. Flash, we're coming home.
Nigel, is that you? Are you here, Nigel?